Carrera finds himself in a very advantageous spot, gaining shield advantage and a simul KO in the opening matchup. We send out Excadrill and the opponent responds with Ferrothorn. If you're wondering just how hard this mole hits, you're about to find out. The neutral drill run does like 65% of Ferrothorn's HP. Carrera gonna give up his first protect shield on the power whip. Excadrill farming up and then stay in school, kids, learn to count. We catch the resisted power whip onto Haxarous. Welcome back to the channel. We're back at it with another upload in the fantasy, aka Azumarill Cup, but don't worry, we don't shoutcast any of that nonsense on my channel. I've actually seen a few other content creators using Azumarill, and in mirror matches they're trying to fill time, asking nonsense questions like how is your day. Trust me, that is not what I'm about. Huge shout out to another one of my Discord moderators, Carrera, for bringing us some fun battles in the Fantasy Cup. Yes, you can have fun. All you've got to do is not run basic bitch meta. When I first saw the team that Carrera was using, I thought, my god, this team is going to be hard to run, as both Haxarous and Excadrill are incredibly attack weighted, meaning they have very little bulk. And with that in mind, I did some research. There is only one single Pokemon eligible for this cup that has a higher attack stat than Haxarous. So if you think you can name it, post it down below. I was actually shocked to find out that Rayquaza, a Pokemon we usually think of the king of CMP types, only has the 5th highest attack. So for some bonus points, name the 2 other Pokemon with a higher attack stat than Rayquaza. And now without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, would you look at that? Of course it's Azumarill, because it's here, it's there, and it's every fucking where. This matchup, pretty decent for Skarmory, especially this season with the buffed Steel Wing. Carrera builds up to the Brave Bird bait with the Sky Attack, and the Azumarill shits its pants, putting up that first Protect Shield. The opponent has enough for a Hydro Pump bait with the Play Rough. My god. Mr. Opponent, that bait was far too greedy. The opponent then attempts to catch a charge move onto the basic bitch tin can, and we get our first look at Excadrill. Carrera fires off the drill run, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. We've got 2 shields. Of course, the opponent lightly Zap Cannon baits us. However, Carrera does not care. The opponent lowers our attack. Does that mean they now survive a drill run? Hopefully not. Come on, Excadrill. Get that tin can out of here. Oof, the opponent survives on minimal HP. Are we going to see Carrera go all in on Excadrill? Yes, we are. We shield up the Focus Blast. We are going to get a very nice Mud Shot farm down. Back out comes Azumarill. Bearing in mind this drill run is now debuffed by 1 stage, but it still does absurd damage. The opponent then send out Lucario looking for the snipe. They don't get it. Even debuff drill run going to be huge overkill. Get that Lucario out of here. And in game number 1, it's going to be basic bitch meta nil, Spice 1. It looks like the opponent's had enough, probably contemplating their poor life choices, and we're off to a very nice 1-0 start. In the next battle, Carrera finds herself a victim of the algorithm. I've not seen a single Togedemaru since I've played this cup, and it is dreadful for Skarmory. We see the instant pivot into Haxarous, of course drawing out Azumarill. Carrera goes straight for the Earthquake. That gets big bad Azumarill down below half health. We see the instant no shield deployed by Carrera. It looks like he recognises it's going to be very difficult to flip this matchup. We're just going to put it all on Excadrill in the back, hopefully sweeping the back line. We send out Skarmory. Skarmory is going to be able to commit to the full Steel Wing farm down. Even a Hydro Pump won't be lethal because Azumarill hits like a wet noodle. The opponent does full send the Hydro Pump. We bank a boatload of energy, send out Excadrill, looking to get ahead in energy. The opponent sends out Lucario. Is there any way we win this game? We fire off the drill run. The opponent let it go. Are you serious? I cannot believe the opponent no-shielded. Look at the mud shots. The opponent fires off the Fail Stinger, but no attack buff. We'll be saving this opponent as Skarmory is going to be able to Steel Wing farm down. And somehow we're off to a 2-0 start. In the next battle, we see the battle of the Steel type Skarmory into Escavalier. A pretty neutral matchup though. Counters hit us for neutral. Our Steel Wings are resisted, but then rolls are reversed. When it comes to charge moves, we resist all charge moves from Escavalier, whereas our charge moves hit back for neutral. Carrera ends up over farming a bit too much. We play to a CMP tie that we do not win. What is with these opponents baiting? Every time you masturbate, a poor defenseless cat loses its life, and the opponent made a really poor decision there, not throwing the drill run. Both Acid Spray and drill run cost the same energy, so I have no idea why you wouldn't just throw the drill run the second time. However, Carrera looking to capitalise. This opponent's so horny for the debuff, we even call the Acid Spray on our Haxarous. We've managed to get ourselves a 2-0 shield advantage. The opponent sends out Azumarill. Azumarill is greeted with the Earthquake to the face. As Acid Spray lowered our defense by 2 stages, Azumarill does get a very nice resisted bubble farm down. Carrera waiting out his clock. We now send out Excadrill, and my gosh, I've never seen Bubble do so much damage. Of course, Excadrill needs to essentially shield everything. We shield up the Ice Beam. Carrera continuing to overfarm. Surely we're not going to try and mud shot farm this down. I don't even think it's possible. Carrera now all shields down. Excadrill doubles up on charge moves. One drill run will be taken care of Azumarill. Of course, Escav is still alive. The opponent sends out Escav looking for the snipe. We withstand the damage. The opponent's final Pokemon is Galarian Weezing. Is one drill run enough to knock out? Of course it is, and Excadrill sweeps the back line. GG's, and thanks for playing. Oof, rough lead. We're going to see the instant pivot this time into Excadrill, drawing out Escavalier. Carrera looking to double up. We fire off the drill run. Drill run will be forcing. No! Trainer! That was a classic case of fuck around and find out. The opponent didn't respect the damage, and just like that, we flip switch. Out comes Azumarill. The opponent looks for the bubble farm down. Excadrill refuses to die, reaches the drill run, and judging by the huge amount of lag, I think the opponent has actually rage quit. Probably not only rage quit, that phone is definitely being smashed into 1 million pieces. So as we've got a break in gameplay, I want to get everyone's thoughts on some of my future uploads. Cutlass Boy has sent me the biggest battle submission I've ever received, containing 36 battles. It's a really fun team. Shadow Poliwrath, Double Ghost. We've got Shadow Gengar and Skeledirge. He was able to gain 400 ELO in the Open Ultra League, and he has sent me a whole heap of battles. Most GBL videos vary from around 12 to 20 minutes, as that is the sweet spot to maximise stuff like revenue and engagement. However, if people want to see a huge 1 hour video, I'd be happy to do that, as I'm a man of the people. In the next battle, we see a great lead. The opponent safe switches into Lucario, and we respond with Haxarous. Carrera actually is going to be forced to shield up a power-up punch, as if we tank it, the boosted counters might enable Lucario to flip switch. You can see just how low Haxarous got. We are down a Protect Shield, however maintaining this super positive alignment is going to be key, as Whimsicott can't do shit to Skarmory. Haxarous even manages to get off the departing Earthquake, bringing Whimsicott down to almost half HP. We send back out Skarmory. This Whimsicott's actually running Razor Leaf. This is going to be the easiest Steel Wing farm down of Skarmory's life. The opponent's final Pokemon, of course, is Azumarill. What else do people run? A 2-shielded Azu might cause a somewhat of an issue. The opponent even call the Sky Attack bait. Carrera looking to go straight Sky Attack all the way, not wanting to lower his own defense and be forced to pivot out into Excadrill. We manage to force a Protect Shield with the second Sky Attack. Carrera fires off Sky Attack number 3, and the opponent does indeed burn that final Protect Shield. We now see the pivot into Excadrill. Carrera gonna shield up the incoming Ice Beam. Azumarill is going to outpace to the next Ice Beam. Come on, Excadrill, please survive. Oof, 1 HP and a dream. Excadrill very much appreciates Azumarill's non-existent attack stat, and we manage to take that game. And you can see Carrera goes a beautiful 5-0 in set number 1, heading into the next battle. We see the very awkward Skarmory mirror, so it's time for me to do my very best impersonation of a play Pokemon shoutcaster. This matchup is going to be very important for both trainers to maximise energy. Perhaps this will come down to a charge move priority event, where the trainer with the Pokemon that has the highest attack stat might prevail. In this battle of resisted damage, Brave Bird of course is better damage per energy, however that comes at a cost of lowering your own defense by 3 stages. As you can tell, I don't think I'll be too suited to that job, so I'm going to return to my own commentary. Carrera tanks the Brave Bird, fires off the Sky Attack, winning lead. The opponent sends out Flygon, and we're going to have to send out Haxarous, as Excadrill will make these mud shots look like mud slaps. Of course, we're going to have to shield up the Dragon Claws. The opponent forces a Protect Shield and then send out the Cupcake. Oof, down a shield, this looks rough. Of course, Carrera going to have to respect the Flamethrowers, that will one-shot. How do we win this game? We're going to farm up to the back-to-back drill runs. I'm not really seeing a win con. We force a shield. Okay, we get CMP. So Flygon's energized. They're going to be 4 off a Dragon Claw. I've slowed the gameplay back down to normal speed because this game does have a win con. I'm going to explain it right now. Slurpuff takes 7, then 6, then 6 to the Charger. You can see we come back in with a break-in swipe. So we can throw 6 counters, CMP the Slurpuff to the Earthquake, which will of course be lethal. We're then going to be 4 counters off the break-in swipe. Flygon's also going to be 4 off. We've got the higher attack. 4 counters and the break-in swipe would knock out and we win the battle. However, seeing win cons in the heat of battle isn't all that easy. It's much easier for me saying that sitting here. In the next battle, we see a great lead Skarmory into Flygon. Skarmory resists the usual moveset of Scorching Sand, Slash Earth Power and Dragon Claw, so it's interesting that the opponent is staying in. They must be ABA weak. The opponent's even committing Protect Shields. We can easily tank another Scorching Sand, however I wouldn't dislike a shield, just trying to keep some health, as whatever they've got in the back doesn't want to see this Skarmory. This is only a Dragon Claw, and again we see the no shield. Dragon Claw isn't lethal. It looks like we're looking for the farm down. Do we get it? Oof, simul KO. Despite losing all of that energy, Carrera's sitting in a great spot, as we've got a 2-to-1 shield advantage. We send out Excadrill, and the opponent responds with Ferrothorn. And it now becomes very apparent why they stayed in the opening matchup. We go straight for the neutral Drill Run. Drill Run lands for huge damage. Of course, Carrera going to need to start investing shields, as Power Whip hits for neutral, and Excadrill cannot tank a hit for shit. Excadrill will outpace to the next charge move, but Carrera continuing to farm up, then stay in school kids, learn to count. We catch the resisted Power Whip onto Haxarous. The opponent then just going to say no thank you and concede the match, heading into the next battle. Skarmory into G-Weezy. This matchup isn't as good as you might think. Despite our Steel Wings hitting for huge super effective damage, this is the bait game. We see Carrera respect the overheat the opponent bait with the sludge. Oof, this is rough. They're already at another overheat. Carrera going to call the bait again, and just like that, the opponent takes shield advantage and win lead. We then send out Excadrill. The opponent doesn't commit to the sludge, and Carrera's counting absolutely on point. Doesn't shield up the sludge, and we get a very nice mud shot farm down. The opponent now send out Flygon. Hopefully the opponent let one of these drill runs through. We fire off the first drill run, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. Excadrill fires off the next drill run. Oh, we're in such a tricky spot. Do we pivot or do we just sack Excadrill? The opponent heavily overfarms. This is probably just a Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw is still lethal. The opponent's got so much energy. We send out Haxarous. I believe the opponent's at the back-to-back, or perhaps they're one short. We shield the first Dragon Claw. No, they're at the back-to-back. Due to Haxarous' monstrous attack stat, we've got a non-existent defense. The Dragon Claw almost knocks us out. We're going to get rid of him with a breaking swipe. What's that third? Oof, the tin can. And unfortunately, we're going to take the loss. Another Togedemaru. You've got to be kidding me. Again, we see the pivot into Haxarous, and again drawing out a Azumarill. I saw Dan Ottawa post a team with Togedemaru, so I imagine this is it, as people love to copy YouTuber teams. We somehow managed to beat the Togedemaru team last time. Let's see if we manage to pull off some more wizardry. The opponent fires off the Ice Beam once again. We just allow Haxarous to go down. We're going to come in with Skarmory, absorb the energy, and then probably look to snipe with Excadrill at some stage, getting a running start. Does this opponent have Hydro Pump? No, just an Ice Beam. That's better for us, as this time Skarmory will have more health again. We do go for the snipe. Last time Lucario was the third. Show me anything but Lucario or Turtonator. Wheezing. This is definitely playable. That's 5 trainer. Is this Brutal Swing? I think even if it is a Brutal Swing, we can definitely tank that, as the opponent has 0 fast move pressure. The Thunder Shocks are double resisted, and these Fairy Winds are also resisted. Again, the opponent doesn't build to the overheat. Carrera says, bait me once, shame on you. Bait me twice, shame on me this time. We easily tank the sludge. There's absolutely nothing. And just like that, Wincon has been found. We fire off the first draw on, forcing the opponent's final protection, then make a very nice catch. Sacrificing Togedemaru to the Pokegods back out. Comes Wheezing. Trainer, you need to overheat. Carrera says, I dare you to throw the overheat. The opponent again throw the sludge. We snipe with the Brave Bird. And I think this opponent's made a real mess of this game. So if you're going to bait, at least build up to the big move. Moving on to the next battle. Another Wheezing. Last time we got baited, then nuke. Let's see if Carrera looks to play this one out different. The opponent builds to 7, then they pause. So I think that's a good inkling. They are going to throw the overheat, as they were making sure we didn't catch it on something that resists fire. So Carrera correctly shielded up. And then the opponent responds with a Azumarill. Our backline doesn't want to see this big fat overweight mouse. So Carrera happy to stay in and look to chip him with the Sky Attacks. We force a Protect Shield. We're now in the 1-to-1 shield. Does this opponent have Hydro Pump? Carrera last second commits a Protect Shield, and it's a good one. Being shields down is a bit scary, as Wheezing can obviously one-shot our Excadrill with the overheat. Carrera fires off the Sky Attack. It looks like the opponent happy to take shield advantage. We really need to try and force the opponent's final Protect Shield. The opponent sends out their third, which is a Kommo-o on Dragon Tail. I think most Kommo-o in this meta run Poison Jab due to the abilities hit fairies for super effective. We bank some energy, send out Haxarous, sacrificing it to the Pokegods. This Kommo-o is now doubled up on charge moves. if they pivot. I think we could be about to get Excadrill close combated to their face. We wait out our clock. No, the opponent doesn't make a catch or pivot. Sky Attack will be securing the knockout. The opponent putting all their hopes and dreams on Weezing. Back out comes Weezing. We're definitely in sludge range. Can we mud shot farm down before the opponent reaches the overheat? Let's go Excadrill. Let's get the job done. We managed to mud shot farm down and end the video with a very clutch dub. Huge shout out to Carrera for running a very fun team in this very repetitive Azumarill Cup. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, a link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.